So my name is Chimdi Ajero, and right here I have
Rose.
Joke. Yeah, Rose. I'm sure you've seen her on Architects Corner a few times, and she has interviewed a couple architects, even the president of NIA, Akon, and really top people in the profession of architecture. And right here, she's here with me. She's actually, in fact, a very fun fact. She was my classmate back in architecture school. We both went to Imo State University, Owerri, graduated BSc. She continued with her master's there, while me, I furthered my master's in the States. And now I'm back, and yeah, we've sort of reunited again, and here we are talking to you guys about architecture experiences, challenges. This will be beneficial for architecture students, those already practicing, recent graduates, and those currently practicing architecture. So we're going to list out the agenda for this talk, and yeah, just stay tuned to the end, because I'm pretty sure you're going to learn a lot from this video. Yeah, all right, so let's move over to Rose.
Okay.
All right.
So, thank you for having me, Chimdi.
Thank you.
Our agenda for today's video is we'll be talking about the challenges in architecture school, the 5 things you should know before getting into architecture school, and also career opportunities in architecture, and obviously we'll end with an advice to architecture students and those seeking to enter architecture school right now, especially from our own experience.
So I guess we'll start with the first one then.
Yeah.
Which is
the challenges. Experience.
So do you want to start, or do I start?
Maybe you should go ahead.
I think for me, one of the first things that I got challenged with was the architecture culture. This thing where you just have to stay up late nights, and you're being bombarded with a lot of assignments. I think that was my first huge challenge in architecture. So it was a bit overwhelming at first. The other challenge I faced was trying to just get used to, I guess, just university in general. And also, back in architecture school in first year, we had to learn physics and maths. Now you see these two courses. These were these were borrowed courses, and especially physics. I don't know. It's almost like you're begging these lecturers to teach you these courses, and these people will just mess. In fact, I think most of us got messed up in those courses. I think I managed with a C. I think a C and a D, in both the first and second semester of my first year. And it was just God, honestly, because I don't know. I think what saved me was I went for all these extra lessons outside the school premises, or within the school premises. So that's what really saved me, honestly. So so over to you.
Okay, so my own challenges, I would say, first off was with trying to marry architecture with social life.
Okay.
Like, I had friends. I was coming from my secondary school was Federal Government Girls College, so I was coming from a school where
all girls.
All girls, and I had a lot of friends. I had some friends in this during my secondary school days, so it was difficult to keep up with them. Like, since now we've moved over to something more serious, you have deadlines, you have assignments, you have a whole lot of things to attend to. So basically, it was as if most of the friendship I had in secondary school, like, I didn't have the number of years we spent in school. I didn't have the time to obviously nourish those friendships, and some of them just like natural death, and some of them also we just see on the way away, like, hello, hi, and all that. So then come into architecture, obviously I was expecting that it's going to be most of the people are going to be men and guys.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was an interesting switch having female present now.
Yeah.
Like have
Funny enough, it's funny that in this era now,
yeah,
you find a lot of ladies in architecture school now.
Yes.
Like the times, the whole narrative has changed so far.
Yes.
Like back then, you could barely you could just say like, okay, 5
in our BS.
Yeah, if anybody can do architecture.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was really hard to find girls in architecture schools.
But I think now there are more of females than our time.
Yeah. I think that's more of a Nigerian factor, if you ask me.
Oh, really?
Because when I went abroad, there was a lot of ladies.
Wow.
In
maybe
BSc.
Maybe the kind of torture. I don't know. Is it going to be the same or?
I mean, to be honest, the architecture school is architecture school anyway. It's the same torture. In fact, I know in first year in my school, their first year BSc, or rather they call it bachelors.
Yes.
They don't let them use computers.
Oh, okay.
So it's all hand drawn. They still take them through that first principle of learn how to sketch, freehand sketching, all of that, and it really really amazed me, seeing all of that. Like it was from second year.
Yeah, we kick against like everybody saying why we using hand when we should be doing CAD, especially now that we are in.
Well, to be honest, as an architect, even my mentors have always told me that, see, like you have to have the knowledge of sketching, basic knowledge. It's just like you now learn how to drive. Just that this world now is spoiled. People now go straight to driving automatic. Like they always say, it's good to learn manual first, so you understand how it works before you dive into automatic.
Yeah.
So it's just like architecture too. Now imagine if you just enter architecture school and the first thing you just do is you just dive into CAD.
Laptop, CAD.
And even the word CAD is basically computer aided design. It's the input to give it that that it produces.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly, garbage in, garbage out. And if you have little or no inputs, then you can't really do much.
Exactly.
So that freehand, at first I did not understand this in my early days in school.
Yeah, I remember sometimes you say, what are these guys doing? I think that was one of my number one challenges. Then which other challenge? Obviously the general courses thing going to.
Yeah.
I think we just love that studio. Like we wanted everything. For me, I wanted everything to be in studio.
Yeah.
Both the teaching of physics, the teaching of maths, all those general courses, let it be in studio. Instead of going out for them and then coming back to studio.
We prefer them to come to us rather than us going to them. Because even the environment they even kept for us to learn those courses, it's like a crowd.
Yeah.
And they're using loudspeaker.
And while in studio, we're not that much.
Yeah, we're not that much. Not much. I remember, during our physics practical, they always told us to donate for speaker. Every semester, speaker. And it's almost like if you don't pay for that speaker, you get an F, automatic F. There's no
one thing is Chris, whatever they tell you to do.
Well, the thing is that you know this thing about life though.
Yeah.
Just like in the Bible, you say, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. So if you're in school, just do the needful.
Exactly.
But nobody is saying go and start sleeping around. No, that's not what we're saying. There's some very, very general things that everybody does. I understand that is perceived
as
that is all right for you to.
Quite interesting. At least now it's more like having a flashback.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like yesterday. That was since 2013 to 2017, 18 was when we did our final BSc final our thesis and presentation or jury. I don't know. In Nigeria, we call it jury. Over there, they just call it design presentation.
So it's basically. Then I think the next one is 5 things you wish you had known before going to architecture school. So what were the 5 things you wish you had known?
I think for me, the first thing would be, I wish I had really delved into a lot of, hand-free sketches. I'm not talking about being an artist or artistry. No, I'm talking about like the power of sketching, or sketching and being so free with your hand and learn how to draw straight lines and lettering and all of that. I feel like these were principles that could have been taught even in technical drawing. Yeah, but we did a lot of construction drawings and all. But anyways, it's okay. Second thing is, I wish I had really dived into CAD.
Okay, earlier enough.
Yeah, the computer-aided design softwares like Revit, Lumion, ArchiCAD, AutoCAD early enough. Even though when I entered school, I started picking up and started using them to draw.
You just mentioned that as a year one student, you can't just it's
I mean, yeah.
So at what stage would you have felt that okay?
The thing is,
freehand sketch.
the thing is, it's good to learn freehand sketch, but also the CAD thing is that you get to understand that in school, no lecturer is willing to teach you how to use CAD. So if you learnt it even before you got into architecture school, like it's no knowledge is obviously a waste, because this is something you're going to use in a lifetime of your professional career. So the only thing is just that in your first year, you just have to be disciplined to just follow the rules, do your hand sketch.
I have on a second thought.
Yeah.
You said if you learn the CAD before you get into architecture school. So what will you now be designing on the CAD? Something you know, something you don't know.
The thing now is, you know what kills us low-key. I feel like what kills us low-key in this part of the world is that we don't have this level of push to have like an outside experience of what we want to practice. But most of us don't really know what we want to be until we're writing WAEC and JAM. And that's when I remember that, one study architecture, one study medicine. I feel like if secondary schools should have this thing where you want to be an architect, okay, go and visit an architecture firm, so that you will see what it feels like, what architecture feels like, So that will now make you now know, okay, if you would want to,
if you want to go into that area.
Exactly. So I feel like
schools in Abuja do that.
Do that for secondary school students, yeah? See? That's the thing. Now, most of us, now if you're obviously doing that, obviously they would low-key introduce you to even CAD.
Yes.
You start learning how to use CAD. You might obviously not be like very good, but at least you have an experience
you know
what it entails. Yeah, and you just keep trying it. Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, but obviously once you get into architecture school, you just have to be disciplined to really follow the due process and just do the freehand sketches and even though I feel like Nigerian schools they overdo the whole thing. I feel like once you enter third year, you should start using CAD.
Okay.
To start producing your designs.
Yeah. I think
because in the real world, once you leave school, you start to interface with nobody's going to ask you to be doing hand drawings and be drawing floor plans and all that stuff. That's only for classroom and you just at least understanding the first principle of drawing and sketching and learn how to
Now, so what's your third?
My third one would be understanding the principle of time management. So time management is obviously a very huge deal for almost every architecture student.
True.
Yeah, you're given a task, you find yourself struggling to finish it. You start getting choked up in the neck.
When is deadline? Everybody's trying to rush.
Exactly, that deadline one. That one is one I'll never understand. Honestly, I wish I had known a lot of things. Even I wish I had known about the principle. I think I mentioned this in one of my
your videos.
in the Pareto principle and the what's the other one?
I think it's...
I'm trying to remember that other one. The other principle I mentioned in my video.
That has to do with
procrastination.
And waiting for deadlines too.
Yeah, like just learning to. So my biggest regret, like one of my challenges, or what I wish I had known before getting into architecture school. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. What I wish I had known. That's the fourth one now, right?
Yeah.
I wish I had just understood procrastination, how to deal with procrastination.
Okay.
If I had learned that,
so you
I feel like
keep putting things off.
Yeah, I'll do it later until the last minute. Then you now find yourself. Yeah. So the fifth one would be just basically understanding networking.
Okay.
I know it might sound like it's too early, but as a kid, I feel like if you understand that this is the real world, this is what the real world looks like. Yeah, so I feel like everything still boils down to still having that experience in an architecture firm prior to entering the school. So that you don't get to school and then you now face the real thing, and then you now start dipping out. You now start chickening out. Like, oh, this is not what I thought architecture would be. Oh, understand? If that happens, we will have less people running away from architecture in their first year.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Okay, so for me, what I wish I had known, the first thing would be, what would I call it now? The first thing would be, I wish I had known teamwork. You remember?
Yeah, very important. Yeah.
You remember in school, like, it's as if like everyone, we are giving assignments and everybody's trying to meet deadline or submit. So it's as if everybody's trying to outdo
the other person. Yeah.
So you want to do something that is out of this world. So when you submit, and it's as if like the grading was being done
against your other team members.
Selves.
Yeah.
Or like if you submit something, okay, the grading would be, there's no let's say benchmark or outline for creativity. So they use the perception of how either how you communicated or how the work turns out to be to grade amongst the students.
Yeah.
So, but somehow I feel like it's also like hampered our teamwork, because you remember when we started having teamwork thing was in 300 level, like when we had to go for documentation. This group, but at the point you will find out that in a group now, only one person or two.
Yeah. And sometimes some people will just kind of like segregate.
Exactly.
Like people that know themselves will just segregate and do, and then there will be no communication until the day of presentation.
You now see everybody.
just some scattered.
So I think that's one of the things I would have loved. Like,
yeah, you're very right.
Teamwork.
I suffered that thing in my masters.
Are you serious?
I suffered it. We were a group of 3 in my group, and I could not work with my team members. I just could not work with them. I just could not. Do you know that?
Is it that you perceive that they are not as good as you are?
No. I was even trying as hard as possible to make it work. But the thing is that I would blame, or maybe I had a part to play in this, but we just could not work. Sometimes you fix a time to meet, this person will come late, that person will come late. We never really came to like a conclusion, and it got to a point where I had to pull out from the group.
Exactly.
And I work alone. But here's the thing now, pulling out from the group really made me work 2 times extra hard.
Obviously.
Because that particular project was supposed to be a group work. Yeah, so with the group work, we were supposed to do the physical models. Just imagine something that a group would do. One person was doing it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
so after I finished doing that whole thing, that whole project, that period, the thing told on my body. I was lean. I lost weight. That's when I realized that okay, this whole thing wasn't. It's not worth it. Learning teamwork, because even in the real practice, you're still going to be working with team members. So if you don't know how to work with team, if you're not a team player, then you're not a good, what's the word? You're not a good professional at all. Yeah. So you're very right. Thank you for bringing that up.
Because I know it was one of the things that we had to battle with. Then the second thing I would say that I wish I had known was architecture competitions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got to know about architecture competitions towards 400 level.
Okay.
Like towards the end of BSc, but I wish I knew it earlier, like from the 100 level. Maybe I would have had, it would have prepared my mind more.
Yeah.
Even though I had applied to multiple competitions and all. But I wish that there was someone who could tell us, okay, there's something like architecture competitions, so not you just meeting them and all.
Yeah.
So I think I wish I had known there was something like that. And then, because I believe that competitions helps your creativity, helps you
even boost your CV itself and portfolio as well.
Exactly. So you barely get to hear. I think during our BSc, you won't really hear. In fact, it's as if you just be in this. It's a triangular life: church, studio,
school,
house,
and maybe those that like that. I love to go to clubs.
Yeah.
Practice.
So basically.
I barely had time for myself. That's what architecture will do to you. Don't be scared.
Yeah. So then the third one I would say is what I wish I had known. Okay, I wish I had known cards too. Like, not when I started using cards when we went for IT. So which helped me, but I think I wish but though there was a time in 100 level, 200 level, I was trying to learn card. A senior colleague was like, this is not the time for you to learn this now. This is not the time for you to learn.
He wasn't supposed to have done that, but anyways.
So it's something you're supposed to learn later. Just concentrate on this. I was like, okay.
But anyways. That's probably the kind of vibe that the lecturers then gave them. So you're just passing it on to you.
I feel that the time we dedicated, like if you see some hand drawings, you'll be like, wow, this is good. But then I feel like the time also we dedicated to that. In school you have all the time to do, like your head is in the work.
Yeah, head is in the work.
So if we started using card, let me say 300 level, like let me say as part of our design project, not something you do on the side. So as part of our design, use it to do your design project and so forth. I think it would have helped. It would have explored the creativity in CAD. Like it would have helped you. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how it is.
Because have it in mind that you're preparing yourself for the greater world out there.
Yes, exactly.
Because you're not going to get into a firm and you tell the firm that you just draw, hand drawing. You look at it like, man, you're not serious.
No.
Like,
you're going to be damaged.
like you're not serious. You think that's what we need now. Understand? So even our great forefathers used AutoCAD.
Yes.
And the AutoCAD came out when in the 90s or 80s.
Yeah, I think there was someone was making that research.
Man, AutoCAD era. I'm sure when it came out, it was like, what is this? Times change, man. Times change, honestly.
And now it's AI and...
it's AutoCAD itself is not even the running thing now. I think it's mostly just engineers that use AutoCAD.
Yeah.
Architects don't have time for AutoCAD. I think it's mostly just Revit or ArchiCAD, really. And most firms use Revit now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what's the fourth thing?
Then the fourth thing I would say is I wish I had. Now I'm thinking of it.
Should I help you? So I think one thing I wish I really cultivated was just having a good sleep. I know that's difficult to say, but you know, one of the reasons why I feel like most of us didn't have good sleep was because we didn't have to manage our time properly.
It's not really time management, because even right now, I can't
still get much sleep.
Yes.
As a 10.
I barely even sleep. Them say, you know, the rules, sleep by 10.
And you think it only ends in architecture school.
Yes,
Once you come out, you realize that it's the same thing.
Probably because of the habits we formed.
Yeah, from there.
And so, like, imagine after jury, the night after jury, the way you sleep. Before you know it, at exactly 12 or 2 a.m., I'll just wake up. Like, there's nothing else I want to do. Yes, but because it's by default, I'll just wake up and
maybe it's you, but me, whenever I have that long night of no sleep,
yeah.
I can remember in my master's program, my first year masters, I didn't sleep well for 1 month straight. Let me tell you that I was having 2 hours of sleep every day.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Wow.
On the day of my presentation, I literally man, I was even sleeping. I think after I had done my presentation, I was not like waiting for others to finish up, and I was literally just dozing off. I was dozing off. When I went back to my bed, the way I slept there. I slept for 13 hours.
Like you fell from a story beauty.
No, seriously. But really, have you ever had an architect that has lived up to 100 years? Let's just be frank with ourselves. I think we're just doing more damage to ourselves than we need to, really, because we do our work.
Yeah.
The next generation will still take over and still do. But
are you saying you're going to attribute it to the little sleep?
Yes, sleep has a long way to go in mental health and health in general.
Exactly.
So
at the point I was thinking, maybe the reason I didn't mention the sleep challenge was because I was thinking it's a norm, because before I even entered school, like I already heard people, some of the people around me saying architecture is this, you're not going to sleep. They're always in the studio listening to music, working and all that. So I was feeling it's a norm, like, already.
Yeah, I had one friend back then in architecture school in masters. This guy always had a time allocated for sleeping.
Wow. Like how many hours?
I think maybe 4 hours or 5 hours.
It's not still enough.
It's not enough, but it's better than just allowing the sleep to just catch you unawares. Like, he had a dedicated time. He'll be like, okay, I'm sleeping by this time to this time. After that, he comes back to work, disciplines himself. Well, also, like, coffee has to be your best friend. Something just keep you up. Well, not Coke though. Coke is not good. But I took a lot of Coke back in school, which I regret. You know, this 1 liter Coke back in the day. I don't know if they still produce it. I used to buy like 2 of it or 1 of it.
Wow.
I just finish it in one. I don't know how big it is now.
Yeah, that big one.
Just by doing normal design, and I'll finish everything. Wow. Yeah, my life was so unhealthy. My life was so unhealthy, honestly.
Then how do you now prioritize sleep? Like,
to be honest, let me not lie to you. There's something I learned from my mom. She has been in very like pressing times when she needs to finish her work, but Mama, just give yourself sleep. Like, you know, when you sleep, your productivity level actually heightens. Because the whole thing about it's not a flex. You know, we architects now, it's not a flex to not sleep. You'll be like, oh, did you sleep at all? No, I don't sleep. I don't sleep for 2 hours. If I 1 hour, Has to be read. But it's just, it's not a flex. It shouldn't be a flex. You should really find time to really sleep. Like take some time, even if it's 4 hours, and then find a time to rest during the day. You know, just put your head down, because you're not a machine, man. You're a human being, just like every other person.
I think there was time in 200 level then when they were bombarding us with a whole lot of assignments. It's as if almost everybody in the class was just breaking down with like we just got to the saturation point.
Disease. I said not disease, sorry. Sickness. Why did I say disease? Anyways, sickness and malaria. I know a lot of times when I'll just fall sick now, I'll be drawing literally. In the middle of my drawing, I'll just fall sick. I'll have malaria for 3 days or 4 days. One time I didn't go to Amichi's
Class.
not a class, excursion to
Okay.
Onitsha or Biasaba.
Delta.
Or Delta. I didn't go. I didn't follow you now. I was supposed to join you guys now. I paid for the distance.
Oh.
I paid for the trip. But the day I was supposed to go, I felt you that morning. I had to now send a text. I made sure, sorry, because you know that thing has a score.
Yes.
In the distance. I didn't go for that trip. I felt ill, literally. I beg you understand, though.
Just
I think one of my challenges, one of the things I wish I had known is really just making a lot of architecture friends. You know, I think it also comes down to like the secondary schools.
Yeah.
Them having like some kind of guidance counselor. I don't know what guidance counselor do these days in schools. Like, what's your job? Or is that the role of a guidance counselor? Maybe it's some other persons, but there needs to be somebody that needs to bring out that thing in students to know, okay, this is my career path. This is where I want to go. That way now they now become more experienced, and then they are pushed to now meet other professionals in the industry that they want to dive into.
I think it's the people that do that, just basically some private secondary schools in Abuja that I've seen.
Yeah, you're saying, okay.
Yeah. They have such kind of things. Like one of the officers we had a set of students come to the office to get some experience on what architecture was. They were taken to site, so they saw how it is from office to the site and all that. So
well,
and then they were also sharing all the things they've heard. Like, you know, at that stage you have a lot of questions, but you rarely see someone to ask them. So they also had the opposite, like ask all the questions, all the things.
Yeah. So like these guys, so you can like we have like professionals visit secondary schools basically, and create awareness about these programs that, you know, that student that is like, oh, I want to be a medical doctor. He now has an idea of what it feels like to be. That's actually very, very right. We don't have that enough in schools, really. Yeah, once in a while, we do maybe twice in a term or 3 times in a term. They can have different people just come in, just do like a voluntary kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done.
Another group of people that does the NAA Abuja chapter.
Okay.
They usually arrange like some group of architects to go to schools. But I think also maybe, I don't know for other professions, but they could adopt such kind of thing to go to schools to do more like a sensitization kind of thing to get them aware of the kind of career path they're going into. And then I think another thing that disrupts that is, you know, our JAM system. Like maybe a student applies for medicine and they are giving crop science. So
I feel like if for most people that, do you know that I figured I wanted to go into, I wanted to do architecture in my SS3.
Wow.
When I was about to write my JAM.
Yes.
I was still trying to figure it out. Yeah, I wasn't even sure. I think I wanted to be, study economics.
Oh.
Fair enough, yeah. Please, for the love of God, if you study architecture, you've done your BSc, you've done your masters, do not answer the name architect if
You're not licensed.
if you're not licensed. It's punishable by, I don't know,
By law.
by all kinds of laws. Because I've heard some people call me like, they be like, architect trimmed. I'm like, no, please don't get me implicated a big. But
if you're provisionally licensed, you are.
professional license, that's if you take the.
No, if you've registered for your provisional license, that's after your BSc, MSc. Then you do your provisional license. You know, there's provisional stage 1 and provisional stage 2. So as at provisional stage 2, you can be called an architect, but then it's usually added as it's not a prefix now, a suffix.
A suffix.
Yeah.
Like arc after your name.
Yes.
Okay. Like Chimney Arc, for example, not Arc Chimney.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm currently working towards my license. Same with her too. Actually, she's guiding me. So, yeah, but it's a good thing to really get licensed early. That's a very good thing. You know, once you just leave school, do your normal tutelage under a licensed and professional and experienced architect. Very important. Very, very important. Then you go ahead and go for your exams. She would actually explain that to you in her. Yeah, so I'll leave you to that.
Okay, so after your BSc, that's bachelor's, you go for your master's. Sometimes it's either you go for your master's before going for NYSC, that's the Nigerian National Youth Service Corps. So either after your BSc, you go for your master's or your NYSC, but usually it's advised to go for your master's immediately after your BSc, so that your NYSC under a licensed architectural firm, a registered architectural firm, would count
as 1 year.
Yes, would count as 1 year of your registration or of your post graduation, which is you're supposed to have 2 years post-graduation experience before you are eligible to write the exam. So which NYSC counts for a year, and your second year in the firm or with a licensed architect counts as the second year before you're able to take your exam.
Yeah.
So,
I think all that you find it in her book.
Yep.
Right here. You find it in her book. It's going to be displayed in the comments below, in the bio rather, so you would see all of that. Yeah, so go get it. Everything is well detailed here.
Yep.
And she's the author of this book. It's a very nice book. I've gone through it. So we're talking about careers in architecture, right?
Yes.
So I remember, first of all, I like to, one course I really loved in school back then was Introduction to Architecture.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Introduction.
So what made you?
I can never forget Architect Amici. Do you know, up to now I can never forget the part where you talked about the careers in architecture. I actually paid close attention to that part because it really made a lot of sense to me. And I remember back then you talked about naval architecture. You can be a designer, you can be a consultant, you can even be a structural engineer yourself. You can go into graphic design, you can go into fashion design, you can go into furniture, you can even be a carpenter, you can even go into tiling. There are so many things. I feel like we architects, we've kind of limited ourselves to just the consultancy, and which is, honestly, well, that's not enough. Getting into other businesses and other careers is also very vital.
Yeah, it does not prevent this, I think.
It does not prevent your current practice, really. You could even go into hospitality. You could go into literally anything. You could go into real estate too as well while practicing. Understand? Yeah. I think that's something that I've learned during my years in school, with my masters. You just have to just learn to diversify, not just architecture, even other careers too. Even if you read medicine, just have it in mind that medicine will not be the only thing you do. Just try different things, venture into different things and multiple streams of income. Basically, that's what they say. Explore. So what career would you see yourself getting into? I mean, okay, what do you do now? Let's start with that.
Just like you said, you loved Introduction to Architecture. For me, I loved architecture. I still love, not loved. I love architectural research. So I love to research. I love to read.
Yeah.
I love to write.
Actually, it's Introduction to Architecture Theory.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's architecture theory. Theory of architecture.
Yes.
Yeah, how it was called. Yeah.
I love to find out about new things. So, which is also a career path in architecture. Architecture research.
Architecture research, yeah.
Materials, landscape, a lot of things. So I love research. Yeah. Then, which other path? Okay. Somehow I think I love also this journalism, kind of the architecture journalism. So which bettered Architects Corner too. So it's something that I find very intriguing and interesting, at least that it solves a problem in
a lot of
architecture space.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's the path I've tried to explore so far. Maybe along the line I'll explore more paths.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I love what you do. I really love when you started the whole Architects Corner thing, trying to meet people and get a lot of knowledge and answers on some certain issues and topics within the architectural space, which is really nice. Loki, you kind of inspired me to really start content. I won't lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There needs to be some kind of seriousness from students.
Okay.
You should learn to just go out of your way. It's just like back in school, no one really taught me how to CAD or taught me construction. They won't teach you that in school. Really.
I think is with that's the part where it's advised, especially I think when we were talking about what you wish you had known. I think one of the things I would mention was probably being under an architect as that student, not just waiting for when you graduate to start working under a firm or something.
Exactly.
That's
even while you're still in school.
Yes, attached to an architect that has projects, and with that it will expose your mind to the construction part of it, and you see all those section things you're drawing, you'll be able to relate it.
Because most times when you now leave school, I'll be like, wait, this is looking strange to me. Do you know that I was so embarrassed one time? We had just left school.
Yeah.
I went to one firm in Lagos and I saw the term ROCP.
Okay.
I was like, what is ROCP? They started laughing at me like, you know what ROCP is? God, I had to go to Google to search for this reflected ceiling plan. I felt so embarrassed, honestly. In my head, I was like, nobody taught me ROCP, because in my bachelor's, I mean, no lecturer has really told me ROCP before.
I think what we learned was doing the ceiling plan, doing the reflected ceiling plan, the full word, not pronouncing it in RCP. It's when we were doing Onamba's working drawing. I think he just told us you're going to do the ceiling.
Oh, he mentioned that?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I was not sitting in class now.
But he didn't say it as RCP, probably.
I think one advice I'll give to myself or my younger self would be to just take the handy experience a lot more seriously.
Okay.
Because architecture is not just about just sitting in one place and drawing.
Yeah.
That in your drawing, you need to know what it feels like in reality. For example, if you're drawing buildings and walls and doors and all that, you need to understand, okay, how does this work? How is it constructed? How is it installed?
Yeah.
Understand? This is something that a studio won't teach you, you know. So being in touch with the I don't know what word to use now. Is it more of the handy part of architecture, as the experience, the construction part? Because even in real-time practice now, when we go for consultations, you know, we go to the site and we have site project meetings, and we go around the site and we see, you know, we will even be the ones to guide the contractor and be like, okay, do it like this, do it like this. Now, as the architect, you have to know, you have to be experienced. There's a reason why they say we are the head of the building team. I feel like we don't even understand what that even means. Like, be the head means you have to understand, if you're the boss of a firm, you know, if you're the boss, you have to understand how the business works. If you don't know how the business works, how will you guide, how will you tell the person, oh, this thing you're doing is wrong, or do it this way, or do it that way? So the architect needs to, you need to have a lot of site experience, admin experience, even how to type letters, how to type proposals. These are things that studios won't teach you.
Experiences.
Exactly. You need to have a lot of general experience, how to talk with people, even general communication skills. You need to have that, honestly.
Most of those things are captured here.
Was captured there. If you're an architecture student, or you're about to enter architecture school, or you've just graduated from architecture school, endeavor to have a lot of site experience. Like, don't just go for the usual 6 months internship that your school allows you to go for. No, outside that one, take out your time, be more inquisitive to go for, you know, go to the sites, attach yourself to a firm, and just trust me, like, you would love it so much that everything that, in fact, that drawing itself will make a lot of sense to you. That design you're doing will make a lot of sense to you. So that when they're speaking some certain terms to you, it doesn't sound strange. Understand? Yeah, these are things that I personally fought with, but as time, you know, went on, it started to make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, because if you don't have this experience, you could come to the site and they will just be cheating you. Like, they'll be like, well, what does one know? You understand?
Yeah. But my own advice would be in the area of don't be boxed up. I think one of the architects I had on Architect's Corner, architect Nina Nimi Briggs, he mentioned that I find that very fascinating, because after that interview, I was still trying to think, how do I go about this? What is my why? What is this? Like, there are a lot of things. So one of the things that got me in is the fact that you mentioned about thinking outside the box, not just being streamlined to the regular design and building, or just the regular drawing plans and 3Ds, but exploring architecture, because architecture is not just limited to the drawings, as exploring even the society, like contributing meaningfully to the society. That, like, there's nothing that stops an architect from going into food business.
Processing, food business, even
there's nothing that stops an architect from, like, providing the solution, rather, because most times in school what we are taught is how to think.
there's the way they say the architect is a problem solver.
Exactly. So we always learn how to solve problems.
Exactly.
So you might not be the one going to cultivate the land and all that, but providing solutions in that regard. So that's what I would.
And also, the architect has to learn to be a businessman too.
Yeah.
Learn how to turn ideas into money.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I think we're all fixed on just the conventional. Oh, client comes, you want to draw your house or design your house, you draw your house, you get paid for the design. That's all. Chicken and ends there. No, like you have to go beyond that. Learn how to like write proposals for a business.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Learn how to apply for loans. Learn how to, do like a business. Because architecture is a business. And I feel like that's what is low key killing architecture in a way, because I feel like we don't see our profession
As a business.
as a business. That's why somebody is able to meddle us and be like, I want to design a house, a 9-bedroom, mansion.
Yeah.
How much will you pay? I'll give you 100,000 now. I'll be 200K. It's not just drawing.
Exactly.
They just meddle us like
It's not just exactly.
People, you could actually do a 5-bedroom duplex or residential building, and you could literally just cash out 3 million, 2 million, 1 million from doing a drawing,
True.
rather than cashing out chicken change.
True.
Chicken change. Like, why just clean ourselves, honestly, in this profession.
True.
So
If you get a job right
if I get a job right now, the first thing I'll do is I'm going to prepare rules of engagement between the architect and the client, where I would specify, okay, this is what you want, these are the briefs, you want this, you want that, these are your preferences. Then we'll also discuss the timeline, discuss the payment schedule, discuss the price, the cost of doing this job. And, everything will be spelled out on the rules of engagement so that it's out there on paper. And then both parties will sign. You kick off. But in the moment when you don't treat it like a business and you just start drawing just like that without no agreement, then what if the client just wakes up one day and just feels like, okay, I changed my mind, I don't want you to draw for me again? Then you now spend like 2 weeks of your time drawing, using a lot of brain. In architecture is brain work.
Exactly.
When you finish designing and everything, then you just get meddled away like you're a piece of trash. which is very, very sad, but this is really what happens. That's why we need to show clients that you can't go to a lawyer's or a lawyer's office and be telling him, no, I'll pay you later. No, before you even enter the office, or you would have paid consultation fee. But what doesn't happen with us?
It's true.
And if someone doesn't invite an architect, come to my side, I want to show you something. You don't say, just come to your side alone. You should pay me like 100K. Not to step into your side and to be showing me one or two things. Just making us feel like we're cheap, Honestly, there's a lot that needs to be done. I'm not going to lie, but I feel like this is something that NIA and Akon will definitely have to put their heads together and we have to make this work in the long run. Yeah. So anyways, thank you so much. I hope we didn't bore you guys. This video was a bit long, but I believe there's a lot you guys learned from this video. We talked about from the challenges to 5 things we wish to knew, 5 things we wish we knew before we got into architecture school, to the careers in architecture, to advices, and also the steps to take towards getting a license in architecture in Nigeria. I don't know about other countries, but this is streamlined down to Nigeria. So you can follow me on my YouTube channel. You can follow her on her YouTube channel. Mine is Chimdi Ajero, your humble self, and she's Architect's Corner. You can subscribe to our channels to even get more videos like this, interesting videos about architecture. There's a lot to talk about, really. even construction, and just a whole lot to talk about. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the other videos to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if there's anything you would want to know about, you can just
just let us know in the comments section, and we'll be happy to share that with you guys. And we'll talk about it. We interact, and if there are other videos you want us to make or talk about, you can also let us know in the comments as well, and we would not fail you for sure. All right, thank you guys. Bye.